Hi, my name is Sandra, and today I want to talk to you about jealousy. Jealousy, the green eyed monster. Maybe you have had some experiences with jealousy. Maybe you have some jealous tendencies, or maybe you are dealing with a jealous person. No matter what it is, on which side of the equation you are at, let's talk about jealousy. Now, what is jealousy? Well, jealousy is actually an emotion, a feeling that motivates, that triggers us to act in a certain way, to have a certain behavior towards ourselves, towards our environment, towards people we are in relationship with. And I can tell you, it is a very toxic energy that can toxify all your relationships, but also your own body. It's very unhealthy to hold on to any kind of jealousy. But how do you let go of jealousy? This is the big question. Where does jealousy come from? It's important to know that it comes from the fear of losing something or somebody. And usually this is related to some trauma that you've experienced. And most of the time, this trauma stems back to your early childhood, something that happened to you when you were a child. And you carry this energy with you throughout your life. And when I look back at the things that I've done in my life, because I was afraid of losing something or somebody, I can tell you it's not a pretty sight, and it was totally toxifying my whole beingness. And making a decision to drop jealousy, to really work on the issue of jealousy, has liberated me. And that's why I'm so excited to share this video with you, so I can give you some tips. Number one is really taking a look at why this is coming up, becoming very aware, very conscious about the issue of jealousy, where it comes from. The next step is being committed to solving it, to working through it, to actually look at your own stuff and do your own personal work. Because if you look at it from a bigger perspective, it's totally toxifying you. It's hindering you. It's really poisoning you from the inside out. So it's the biggest gift you can give to yourself, is being committed, willing to work on this issue and doing your own personal work. When jealousy arises in any kind of relationship, it is important to have open communication. So part of your personal work could be that you have to work on your throat chakra, on your communication. So when you are in a relationship with family, friends, or your lover, your intimate partner, that open communication is key. It is also very important to keep your heart open, not to blame, not to point any fingers. When you are in an open communication, when you are communicating what your issues are, why jealousy is coming up, when you're talking about trust issues, it's very important to keep your heart open. And then the other person will be able to hold space for you, to hear what you are saying, to listen to you. Because if you're blaming and pointing fingers, the other party, be it a friend, family, or your lover, will go into a very defensive mode, or they will just shut down, or they become very angry. So keeping your heart open while you have this open communication is very important. And besides not blaming anybody or pointing any fingers, it's so important to keep a happy and positive attitude. Just looking for the positive things in life. And sometimes something happens just to teach you something, to teach you a lesson of self-love, self-confidence, to trust yourself, to trust your intuition. And holding on to these feelings of jealousy, and maybe holding on to a certain person that is always fueling that jealousy, might just be a sign for you that it's time to move on. But remember, you have to be willing to look at your own stuff. Because if you leave one relationship because there's trust issues and you don't try to work on it, either your own personal work or in the relationship, you just take that energy with you to the next relationship. So in whatever relationship you are right now, how good or bad it may be, try and work on that communication. Try to work on doing your own personal work, looking at what's coming up for you, what lessons are there for you in this relationship. In that open communication, you can also address things that happened, because maybe you have been in a situation where your trust was betrayed, or maybe you were hurt. And in that open communication, you can talk about it and you can say, look, I'm very fragile right now, but I want to work on this trust issue so that I can drop any feelings of jealousy. And most of the time, the other party will be open to hearing you and working on this issue with you. And if they are not, then maybe it's a sign for you to move on and you can do your personal work on your own without being in that relationship. Whenever jealousy comes up in my life, feelings of jealousy, I just tune into it, become very aware of it. And then I really make a conscious decision to focus on loving more, on dropping my armor, because my whole body is contracting. Whenever you have feelings of jealousy, there's a contraction in your body, in your energy. So just being aware of that, being really loving and kind towards yourself, setting that strong intention that you want to drop those feelings, that you want to drop that armor, going more into love. You usually see it's not all that bad. The monsters under the bed are not as scary. Whenever you feel jealousy rising its ugly head, just tune into love, unconditional love. Raise the frequency of love, because where there's love, there cannot be any lower vibrating energies. So even if you have been hurt in the past, whenever you feel that jealousy is coming up, just increase the love. Because whenever you give in to those feelings of jealousy, it totally changes the way you look, the way you behave. It's not attractive. It's not sexy. People are not gonna be excited to hang out with you and have fun. So no, it's repelling. It's a repelling energy. So just think about it, how valuable it is to do your own work, just to drop that energy. And then just by the power of your intention and attention, your whole life will shift and change, because your energy will be much lighter, more loving, and it will be more attractive, sexy, more fun, and people are gonna wanna hang out with you. So doing your own personal work has a lot of benefits, and it doesn't matter if you do it while you're in a relationship or while you're on your own. You can do it with family members, with friends. You can say, let's just work together and see if we can improve ourselves, if we can drop this energy of jealousy. There's many different ways to work on jealousy, and just tune into it and see what works for you. And then last but not least, how do you deal with a jealous person? And when I say how do you deal with a jealous person, I don't only mean somebody else. This is also for you. If you are jealous, how do you deal with yourself? Well, in all cases, it's important to remain calm. Don't freak out. Remain really loving, hold loving space. And this could be for yourself while you're feeling jealousy come up, or it could be holding space for somebody else who's going through a rough time. And again, just tuning in, becoming very aware, being very open, keeping the communication open and loving. And besides holding that loving space and keeping the communication open, it's also important to set clear boundaries. Boundaries with yourself, where you are like, okay, this ego-based, fear-based, knee-jerk reaction type of thing that I've been going through, it ends now and I'm going to do my personal work. Or it can be setting clear boundaries with somebody else in a very loving way, but still saying, look, this is your issue and I'm willing to work on it with you, but are you willing to work on it? And this is something you can say to yourself and to another person. Are you willing to work on this issue? And if the answer is yes, the sky is the limit. You can totally reverse and shift this energy. If the answer is no and you're in a relationship with somebody and they say, no, I'm not willing to work on it, then it might be time to move on and let them do their own work in their own time, and you just move on and you work on your own stuff and attract more loving relationships into your life. And like I said in the beginning of this video, I myself had to work through a lot of jealousy issues. And I know it's not always easy, but I know it can be done. And you know what I always say? If I can do it, so can you. Oh, and if you like videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Bye!